we released a poll into the Telegram group as usual, listing out some large cap altcoins, and we have DOT, ADA, and XRP as the winners. So we'll be going over the daily charts on each of these coins in light of the recent run up on Ethereum. If we can actually check out Ethereum quite quickly here, we can see that Ethereum's made massive moves. I'll change these fonts actually to black because I've just actually changed my chart layout. I used to have a dark theme and now I've got a light theme, so a few of the fonts are a bit out of whack, but Ethereum's made a massive move, and we've released a post into the Telegram group, the Wolfpack Telegram group, which is in the description, kind of going out how we think we might be correcting just a little bit on Ethereum here, potentially, if we can't see that move upwards due to the things we listed in the post. So we've made that move up in Ethereum, and as a result, we've had some major altcoins start to move upwards, including these altcoins which were voted by your guys' favor. We had a few other altcoins like Sol, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, EOS in there as well, and a few others, but these were the winners, so we'll be going with these today. So we'll jump straight into it. We've got Polkadot here, or DOT. We'll actually take away that side view right there. We can see what's happening on DOT. Well, we've seen a run up over the bull market, just like on every coin here, and essentially after a drop down from the highs of the bull market, we dropped down around 88%, 78% here to just below a support zone, which is interesting with DOT. We picked up some DOT here at around $13.10, but we dropped below into a deep kind of a deep DOT that we weren't really expecting. We could see it kind of lines up with the support block that we made here back in January. It wasn't really where we expected it to go though, but we did see a drop there. Luckily, it only lasted a few daily candles, and we quite quickly had a V-shaped recovery in where we saw a pump out of it. What we were expecting was a double bottom of some sort. However, we did pick up DOT, as I said, around $13.10, and from that point, we can see that we're pretty clearly in some sort of profit here, around 170%, or a bit less, because I've just measured that from $12.60. But you get the point. We're doing well on DOT. We saw that run up. If we zoom up here, we can see what's actually happened here on a larger scale. So we can see with DOT that, well, we've ran up, 170% or more, probably around 200%. We took that 50 SMA, we took the bull market support band, we took the 200-day SMA, and we're kind of overvalued here on the RSI. We've just seen a bullish MACD cross, which is countering out what's going to happen there. What would I be expecting next for DOT? Basically some consolidation in this area, depending on what happens with Ethereum. If Ethereum does see that drop down, what we could expect for DOT here, due to the fact that we have a bearish divergence, we are seeing here, I'll draw this out, we have a bearish divergence in which the RSI is making lower highs, and if we go back to the price is making higher highs, so it's a pretty clear bearish divergence. We could actually be seeing a drop back to this black line at around 30 USD, or potentially a drop down to this 200-day SMA, which would be at around this point here at around 28 USD. That's what I'm expecting for DOT. We could actually go as low as the bull market support band to test that 20-week SMA, but that depends on how steep this correction will be. I'm expecting to see consolidation rather than a correction on Ethereum, so I don't think we'll be correcting below this 200-day SMA, but it would be nice to flip that, and keep it as support. So that's what I'm expecting for DOT, a little bit of consolidation after a big run up. We haven't really had a sizable correction in a while. We could be seeing that MACD cross flip back to bearish here and start seeing some bearish candles on the histogram while that happens, but I'm ultimately expecting upwards movement, especially into October, just a very short-term correction or consolidation, about a week. If we flip it over to ADA, we've got a very similar story at a much larger extent. Well, we picked up ADA in our buying area here at around $1. I'm pretty sure we picked it up at $1 as we retested this $1 support zone, from which we are up at around 200% to 210% profit at a maximum. That's where we kind of see we've kind of launched off here on ADA after testing that $1 support zone. We've tested it multiple times, so it's a pretty clear buying area. If ADA was actually still ranging in this region, we could just continue buying at $1 and selling at this resistance at $1.50, and it's basically guaranteed profit because we did that over and over again throughout the bull market. But what we can actually see, ADA is making new all-time highs currently. For this bull market, we've crossed $2.50, which was the previous high that we formed in around May 15th. So we've crossed that quite nicely, and we've seen exponential run-ups. We have kept in line here, holding the 12 SMA for support on every occasion. Now, what I want to say is you can notice that every single drop down, every single correction, we had a correction here on August 19th, we had a correction here on August 27th, and we've recently had corrections throughout the last couple of days. Every single correction has stayed above the 12 SMA on the daily chart. So losing that 12 SMA will definitely lead to some sort of drop. And as you can see, we're definitely going to be seeing a test of this 12 SMA on this daily candle or the next one, because we can see the 12 SMA is actually flattening out as we lose upwards momentum. We can also see, similarly to what DOT had, if we check the time, we can see that we have a bearish divergence as well. You'll notice that there is a pattern of bearish divergences amongst the large cap altcoins that have made run-ups, and this is due to the fact that we're simply overextended. Although it's all well and good going up 200% in almost less than a month, you have to expect some sizable corrections below your critical MAs, and it's actually very healthy to the market. So what we could be seeing for ADA here is some sort of drop down to around $2.50, which is our last support zone, which is the all-time high, which would actually be very healthy. It'd form a double bottom at $2.50 at the previous all-time high and give us some leg room to start going up higher to the $5 region in Q4. So we're looking for a little bit of a correction on DOT if we fail to hold this 12 SMA for support. Yes, that will certainly be the case. $2.50 on DOT. We can also see, if we check out the MACD here, if we do end up holding the 12 SMA, and that would kind of coincide with Bitcoin breaking out of 51k and Ethereum breaking 4k, we will end up seeing a bullish MACD cross, which would actually drive the price higher. But ultimately, what we'd be doing at that point is delaying the inevitable correction rather than just going up to the moon, because we can't go up without going down, and that's, kind of what crypto is. It's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and we haven't really seen any sizable step backs. What we have seen is the highs getting closer and closer together, which kind of resembles how we're seeing a rounding out pattern, and the buying pressure is slowly deteriorating. This could be because, a lot of people are taking profits, and also because there's a lot of better buys in the market. People don't want to be buying things at their all-time highs when there are still, the vast majority of coins that haven't even reached all-time highs in this bull market that are still on the ground. So, objectively, they are the better risk-reward ratio to take in this bull market so far. We can see XRP, we've got our last coin here, obviously going under a lawsuit, and that's kind of prohibited XRP from making a same level of moves as ADA and DOT, especially in the recent days. You can see on both DOT here and ADA, we've made breakouts in the recent days as Bitcoin and Ethereum have been breaking out past their critical resistance zones, but XRP is yet to do that. We could be seeing that very shortly, though, because we do have pretty noticeable bullish MACD cross. It's basically unavoidable at this point. We haven't actually listed out any of the support zones on XRP, so we can do that quickly. We have a support zone here at around $1.26, which has also acted as resistance in the recent days. And then above that, our next critical resistance zone will probably be in this region here between $1.60 and obviously the recent high at $1.83. So those are kind of our key levels. As for downside, we obviously have this support here at around $1 in that region. We could actually bring it down to around $1, which was basically a major psychological resistance zone that we've broken through, and we've managed to flip pretty clearly. We've broken above the 20-week SMA, we've broken above the 50 and 200-day SMAs. As for the volume profile we have here on the side, it's pretty, it doesn't really tell us much about what's going on here on XRP. It's very, very consistent. What it does say is that, realistically, we should be seeing a quick jump from the $1.30 region to the $1.40 region, but that hasn't really played out in the past due to the fact that we're probably overvalued in most of the markets at the moment in crypto. We have seen also a pretty clear bearish divergence, which we have seen on the other two coins as well. I don't really need to specify much there. Basically, the entire market is seeing bearish divergences as the market heads into overvalued territory in the meantime. But we have seen also on XRP some sort of triple top here potentially if this daily candle closes red. Oh, that's the wrong tool, sorry. We can see we had a top here in earlier this August, and we had a mid-August top here, and we're recently seeing a top at this resistance zone as well at around $1.30. If that candle closes red, we might be seeing a triple top play out in which we see a sharp reduction downwards to the $1 area. The only thing kind of convincing me that won't be the case is the fact that we have this bullish MACD cross, but dropping down to $1 would actually line up with a retest of the 50-day SMA, so we can probably bounce from that region past resistance zones and head up to $1.60 to make new all-time highs on XRP for this bull market. So ultimately, across the board here, we will be seeing I think we will be seeing some sort of correction or at least consolidation across the market. If you look at something we saw at Bitcoin in the last few weeks before this breakout, we saw that sideways movement for about a week or two. I think that's definitely a possibility for ADA DOT and XRP, in which we go sideways or we go down to the lower support zones. Remember guys, it's a 2-step forwards, 1-step back game. We are still in Q3. Q4 is typically the most bullish month in crypto. Having some downtime, some breathing room, some opportunities to accumulate across the market is always a good step. This is not a sell signal, even though I'm telling you that it looks like we might be going down for at least a week or so here, or a couple of days at the very least, just to skim past and retest those support zones, refresh the RSIs, get rid of those divergences, and refresh the MACD so we can see more bullish crosses in the future. But this is not a sell signal. I'm not telling you guys to sell. I don't think that any correction from this point will be fatal. I think at the very, very least, we could be seeing some sort of sideways movement. But I think at the very most as well, guys, we haven't tested that 20-week SMA on Bitcoin yet, down at 42K. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just a possibility. We could be going all the way down there. This market is a little bit unpredictable and we haven't seen an extensive correction for a while. But even at that point, and this is why I'm not telling you to sell your coins right now, because even at that point, every single ounce of cyclical theory, every single ounce of what's happened in the recent weeks has kind of led me to believe that we will be having a very, very bullish Q4 in which we're making new all-time highs for sure, and into Q1 as well. That's my personal opinion. I'm not selling any coins regardless of what happens. The only way I'd probably be selling off any of my coins in this current market climate is if we go down below the 20-week SMA. That's when I'll be looking to sell some coins, de-risk a little bit, and possibly come back into the market later on. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that that's the worst case scenario. But that's basically it, guys. So don't get too stressed if we see some sideways movements or downwards movements. We could also just keep in mind as well, Ethereum also has surprised me in the recent days. We had a daily chart, I would have thought that, we'd be stopping at, for example, this $3,550 resistance zone and start to retest this support block before going up higher. That's my initial inkling when that happened, but that didn't happen. So, at the end of the day, we could just be entering that, parabolic period quite early. And that's typically a period where TA doesn't matter. These bearish divergences don't matter. So it's something to keep in mind. And that's one of the reasons as well that I don't recommend selling in the current climate, because we could simply be entering that period where all kind of TA and all kind of logic goes out the window and we literally just go up. I wouldn't be expecting that to happen yet, but it could be the case. I think it's too late in the bull market to start worrying about these small corrections, because, at the end of the day, guys, would it be so unbelievable for us to just correct down a little bit here for a couple of days until the middle of the month and then continue upwards? I think that looks perfectly healthy. But at the same time, in bull markets previously, when we've entered that parabolic phase, we have just gone straight up. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I know it kind of sounds like I'm just saying we could go up or down. What I'm actually saying is the TA suggests that we'll be correcting here, or at least going sideways for some consolidation. But we have seen at the end of previous bull markets entering a parabolic kind of market climate where none of that TA matters. So basically what I'm saying is do not sell. And that's my recommendation. Obviously, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would not be selling. I'm personally not selling of my coins. I'm kind of preparing myself for both scenarios. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from this video. Check out some of the other content on my channel. I put a lot of work into it, so it'd mean the world if you check that out for me. And I've also got that Telegram group in which I post updates on the market multiple times a day. If you don't like watching the videos, or, if you like something extra as well, we have, 2 to 3 Bitcoin updates a day to go over the short-term price movements. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.